Stuart Richey was flying over Tasmania's northeast coast when something small but surprising caught his eye: a school of sardines. He spent the decade since and around $400,000 trying to get permission from the Tasmanian government to fish the lucrative waters.
It is hugely frustrating in that everything we predicted has far exceeded our predictions. We've done everything we can possibly do.
Tasmania's Department of Natural Resources and Environment is considering whether a new fishery can be developed. It's asked researchers to figure out how big the sardine population is.
You know, our initial estimates of probably 6 or 10 or 12 or 15,000 tonnes might be out there.
The stock was something like 350,000 tonnes.
Sardines can be found across much of Australia's coastline in the Commonwealth's small pelagic fishery. It's estimated an enormous resource covers a vast area from New South Wales' south coast down to Tasmania and could sustain an annual catch rivalling the biggest in the country. But researchers say any new fishery would need to start small.
We need to set low exploitation rates at the start of any fishery that is established.
We heard exactly those lines when super trawlers were haunting our waters not so very long ago.
Fisheries in Tasmania are a touchy topic. In 2012, the 143-metre-long FV Margiris was approved to catch an 18,000-tonne quota of small fish in waters off Tasmania's coast. Outrage from environmentalists and fishing groups led the federal government to ban so-called super trawlers from Australian waters.
Because every time we go out there, we've proven to have unacceptable impacts on things like dolphins and seals.
There is no need for big boats to be here because we're not advocating for a big fishery.
The new Tasmanian fishery could emulate one in South Australia, where smaller boats use the per seine method of fishing, resulting in less bycatch than trawling. And in South Australia, it's more about catching fish to actually feed other fish. About 95% of the fish caught there goes towards fish feed for its aquaculture industry. IMAS has considered that a potential Tasmanian sardine fishery could serve a similar purpose for the salmon aquaculture industry.
The bulk of that fishery, in order for it to be economic, is going to be headed straight to fish farm production.
There are ecological risks and economic risks associated with over-exploiting a resource, but I think what we've learned in the South Australian sardine fishery, in the Commonwealth small pelagic fishery, is that those risks can be managed.
A new report on the population size of the sardine fishery will be released later this year. Meanwhile, Stuart Richey is still waiting for answers.
We're missing out, but Tasmania's missing out because we've got this resource, we're not utilising it, we're not employing people, we're just stagnating with it.